You might be wondering what the heck is happening here, and maybe your head is starting to ache a little bit, just the way mine was, but hopefully not. And I'm thinking it's worth it because of how fun this overlap is. But yeah, I'm gonna transition from this in a second, I promise. This not meant to stay like this, but how cool is this? Do you see the mantis being in the very center? It is the kind of being that some people describe meeting. One of the confirmed alien species. But yeah, let's go back to the normal. Super cool the way the rainbows are doing it right now. I feel like this is amazing. I also decided to look like an alien for you in this video. I'm hoping that the sound is better this time around because I am using a mic. Welcome, my pink RGB fine that I've had for years and even tried to sell at some point, but now I have a perfect stand for it because I don't like the other thing. Okay, TMI. But yeah, I am just a little rainbow angel here for you. I hope you enjoy this video and the sound is better. Please comment if it is and share this video if you find it interesting, and of course like, subscribe, blah blah blah. All right, now that the rainbows are gone and we have a normal exposure, we can talk about this art piece in the part 1 of the insectoid video, where I talk about that I channeled this piece unknowingly, and most pieces at that time of my life I used to use visionary aids, you know what I mean? And I think I opened some sort of portal and discovered a format where I could create images that looked kaleidoscopic, and the way I did it was on an iPad. I don't remember, was it Pro or something, but I played around with Photo Booth, yeah? And then I would, in other software, I would flip mirror like those images. And so very often nature images and any images after that process would have a creature, some sort of creature in the middle, just like this, right? And also this is your permission to get some sort of crafts. This is my knitting, my endless forever knitting of a tank top in this sort of elastic pattern. But I am a free knitter, so I'm figuring out as I go. So we have to talk about this art from 1938. We were told it was from the 70s. I am sorry. Alrighty. So to make it obvious to those who are listening and not looking, we're looking at the scenery of a couple on some sort of lavender planet with a bunch of other planets in the sky and a rocket behind them. And a man, it's a man. That's all you need to know about him. And then a female, where maybe it's a androgynous person with a feminine body. She's green and fuzzy and has head of fly. Pulp sci-fi illustration by Italian artist Aldo Di Gennaro. Hope you can appreciate that pronunciation. So, Baby Italiano says, this is probably the most culturally important thing I've ever seen in my entire life, if I'm being honest. I want this affixed over my mantle, embroidered into my denim, and emblazoned into my flesh, so that generations to come may never forget this 1938 gem of an illustration. Put this on my gravestone and name my children after Alfo Di Gennaro. This is what it's all about. And then other kids can call his kid Alf, right? Alf. Okay. Another person, Crab of Doom, says, artist was obviously a lagman, but I have never seen a female alien love interest designed as this alien before. She's uniquely hairy, bug-eyed, lines would indicate at least a partial exoskeleton. She has a skin being saddled with the memories that a non-mammal being would not have. Yet she's got it bad for Space Force Leatherhead, and he's so into her. So we're calling the guy Space Force Leatherhead. He's so into her in cursive. I can practically hear his prose of her cabochon eyes of nebula violet, glowing with a passion to know and be known in the starlight. The green of her body turning more vivid as discovery and carnal knowledge consume her conscious mind. To suggest a red-blooded human man could love Greedo's cousin, desire her, this is fantastic in every sense. How many lives did this change forever? So poetic. Might have to look some things up to understand this fully. For example, memories. Not memories, but memories. A-N-M-M. What else? I feel like this person is very knowledgeable about insects and sci-fi art. Space Force Leatherhead, because he's wearing leather helmet looking thing on his head. So we are on Reddit out of all places, and the first forum looking into is called High Strangeness. And as soon as I follow disclosure.pw, there is nothing. So, server not found. Great beginning. But in the comments, I heard this is really... in the comments? What? But in the comments, here is this. It's from Astral Rocker 2001. Someone sent me a personal message and said he been experimenting with outer states. He says he woke up, quotation marks, in a pod similar to those in the Matrix movie. After briefly sitting up, he was approached by an insectoid humanoid entity. The insectoid told him that he would be punished and to go back to sleep, as it choked him with a device similar to a cattle prod. I really hope this was his imagination. Me too. Allegedly, for educational and entertainment purposes only, and fair use. Aliens form, and I'm traumatized immediately by this image. My mantis is cuter. Yeah. This is crazy, man. One of the 1969 Berkshire UFO abductees describe insectoid / mantis aliens. So, one of the most fascinating stories out there. Netflix has a great doc on this. In 1969, a number of different people reported a turtle shell-shaped metallic UFO. One of these abductees illustrated an alien he saw while on board one of these crafts. And this one is from UFO Witness Discovery Plus Season 2, Episode 2. So it sounds like I either have to check out UFO Witness Season 2, Episode 2 and or Netflix doc for more info on this. Great. Now this is an alien. I hope they don't judge us on the insects we're squished. I'd be dead. Praying mantis have no second thoughts about ripping its prey's head off while it's still alive, while devouring the body within seconds. I hope they're not distant cousins or anything alike. Lol. That looks like a body of a species evolved in a microgravity environment. Big head, since the weight would no longer be an issue. Thin, long limbs, since muscles are energy hungry and nothing requiring sturdy bones, and will fart propulsion with that rear end that looks quite muscular and willingly controllable. Fart propulsion, yes. Oh, look at its huge nutsack. I think it's inappropriate to comment on an alien body like that, so I'm going to hold my tongue. We're getting a lot of feedback that the long limbs, while efficient, are super creepy, so we're gonna go ahead and download your new short limbs update for your DNA. Yeah, fuck that. I hope this being is neutral or maybe even good, but then again, he abducted people against their will, so hope it's fake. Okay, this is so cool. This has been translated from Russian. This is from the book Giant Eusocial Insectoids and their Anthropodymbions. So in forward, we hear fear and hurt to disappoint dreamers of interstellar contact. What we know about UFOs is just a tip of the iceberg. On Earth, besides us, there is a powerful non-human civilization. Abnormal phenomena are caused by terrestrial creatures belonging to an intelligent ancient species. The species is much older than human. Its main representatives are not at all extraterrestrial humanoids, as it is commonly believed. Formative species of this alien civilization are termitoids or insectoids. This is an ancient non-human species which has a completely terrestrial evolutionary origin due to its natural abilities, antiquity, and high technology, as well as symbiosis with genetically modified anthropes. Wait a second. Natural abilities, antiquity, and high technology. Yeah, so I was able to find this in color. Somebody posted the pictures in the comments. I still don't know what we're looking at. In regards to like aliens question mark? But even if that, okay, technically we know they're not aliens, but they have terrestrial evolutionary origin, but they're highly evolved species, then we could still call them aliens, okay? But these pictures are interesting, insane. Yeah. Mantids. Yeah, more of pictures of that. Those creatures. Not that this is true, but what I find interesting is those indigenous Amazon dudes talking about the same thing, total opposite sides of the world, talking about some ancient ant beings, when that really isn't a popular thing to talk about at all. Just fascinates me. So yeah, opposite sides, because that book was from Russians and this is Latin America. So that's interesting. Based on the Twitter thread, I might check out. The rabbit hole is gone far in. Okay, so yeah, there is a little more here. Okay. This is pretty cool. Quite a bit. Quite a bit. So yeah, it's a leaked autopsy report of large insectoid creatures captured in USSR. This document surfaced in 1996. Male head made not male head. If it was faked, it required a large group of specialized expert biologists with a lot of time and effort involved. It contains so much technical information that is unreadable for the general population, which raises more doubts about the intentional disinformation angle. So, some summary of findings. Autopsy report describes an insectoid worker species reaching a length of 2.5 meters when its lower limbs are extended. These species are most closely related to termites. Their cells are much larger than the cells of known animals. Their size can reach 100 micrometers. A portion of its tentacle apparatus not used for upper limb formation has evolved into organs for breathing and vocalization. It's also walking on 2 feet. By the way, this is from Vlad the Metahuman, Vlad the Alien on X. These creatures have developed exoskeletal structures, including limbs, due to climatic changes, facilitating locomotion and leading to increased brain development. Their blood system is advanced with specialized vessels and organs dedicated to efficient circulation. This allowed them to adapt to lower oxygen environments underground and actually grow in size. They don't have a waste disposal organ, instead they secrete waste through their skin. That's why they have a terrible smell, which witnesses frequently report. Edward Egan, PhD in biochemistry, analyzed this report and provided more context and photographic evidence in his Real Monsters book. His research led him to a conclusion that this report most likely originates in 1985 and was done in the Institute of Evolutionary Physiology and Biochemistry, named after Secheneva in St. Petersburg. He based it on analyzing funding patterns, personnel changes in an underground secret complex built under the institute during those years. There is a lot going on here. But yeah, this is the same photo we saw before. There is more. There's more there. If you're interested, I'm gonna attach a link. Yeah. This is crazy. I did not expect to actually find some sort of autopsy report. Now, and this is a deeper dive than I expected. So we are now in alien bodies, and look at this photo. Yeah. This is getting real, man. Bit too real, yeah? Jeez Louise. 10 metal implants. Fairies. Yeah, someone else said that this might be fairies. Okay, there was a congressional hearing in Mexico, and they called this creature Suyai. Dr. Daniel Vizareta talked about the X-ray analysis of a new specimen. Biological well-defined spine. Spine has joints, 3 fingers, and contains strange bodies at its abdomen. Homepage? Do we care? No, apparently. Oh boy. Can someone with some CGI skills do a mock-up of what this would have likely looked up? How it would have walked, etc. This looks like also Men in Black screenshot, doesn't it? I for some reason cannot zoom in. I'm already zoomed in out of mass, but like what is going on? Yeah. Somebody did they do a 3D model of this? Jeez Louise. Oh my goodness. Are we gonna see something? I don't know how much you see here. This, I don't know if it looks what we need it to look like. I don't understand. They look like caminons, but with wings, short necks, and shorter overall. I'll show you who are caminons. Jeez. And so then, what kind of metal are the implants? Osmium. Okay. what I found was interesting is actually later. Some researchers have considered mantids as a possible example of an early form of intelligent life from planet Earth itself, but this is only one theory of the origin of these creatures. Some experiencers state that the mantids are also shapeshifters and use advanced technologies to create a field around their bodies to make them appear human. Yeah, I want to hear about that. Here's a little story, very brief story I heard for the grapevine, aka the internet. And if you know the the source, the original source, let me know in the comments because I could not remember and locate it. But there was a story that of a woman that said when she was a girl, she saw a man sit on a bus stop, and when he started to eat his sandwich, he had sort of like a tongue coming out that she compared to an insect tongue. So something like this. My cats are getting zoomies, but something like this. Yeah. And she was so sure that happened. But of course, who believed her? Common nouns, by the way, are made up. They're from the Star Wars universe, so. The Earth has had animals since the Cambrian explosion. That was 538.8 million years ago. Now they may have been species that evolved to the point of tribes. We don't know, and it's purely speculative. There is no evidence, and especially none for advanced civilization, except maybe now. I could argue about the whole advanced civilization. I thought we found quite a bit. Quite a bit. Like pyramids, like Atlantis at the bottom of the ocean, etc. But going back to the past. Of course, there's still massive oil and uranium reserves on Earth. Conventional wisdom says that these reserves would have been depleted already. Don't know about that. But here's a fun little what if. What if a species evolved to an advanced civilization before us? Due to their size, they prefer to stay underground where it's safe. Maybe they use geothermal for most of their energy needs. Extremely far-fetched, but we used to use caves. Ravens train wolf pups to help hunt. Orcas have the intelligence of a 16-year-old human. And then, of course, Octopusi. My dear saplings, ladies and gents. This is me from the future when I recorded all of my current research. And it's an hour long, so I decided to split this into parts. So I hope to see you in the part 3 that will be posted maybe the next day, maybe in a couple days. We'll see. And for now, thank you for joining my journey, and I hope you go and get to enjoy yours. Mwah! Okay.